worlds for sure. Of course, as a reminder to everybody, if you're just tuning in now, we have best of threes throughout the day. It starts on Vertigo, but of course we will have Dust 2 and Inferno later as a decider. And we are finally into the map 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Vertigo.
So, of course, we've seen Orange.Sphynx, they get to pick the side. Map pick was Celestè, so they're instantly dropping onto the T side. Interestingly, 2 P250s, 2 smokes and 2 flashes, so perhaps Orange.Sphynx are looking prepared here, as we will see a little bit of early presence towards mid. And again, almost instantly, you see the CT side very passive towards middle. You've got Tarathiel just peeking in towards mid, but no real presence here, as Orange.Sphynx are going to take that chunk of the map and start to make their way towards B as well. This looks like it's going to end up with a B hit.
All right, smoke's down. It looks like they're going to try to rush on the B side here. We do see the bomb kind of moving between the rest of the team. Here's Afrolin looking for the peek. Getting taken out, and that's going to be a 3v4 right now. Tarathiel's going to fall down here, and it looks like it's down. It's all over. Celestè will take the pistol round.
A typical Vertigo round, just constant fragging, absolutely insane round, almost a complete reversal of what you normally see in CS. Orange.Sphynx dropping a little bit of utility to make their way up over the boost spot in towards that B bomb site, pincering in, and despite the best efforts of Iceberg getting 2 frags, Orange.Sphynx not quite able to make it happen. You can see they just struggled in the afterplant situation. CTs with the longer range USPSs tearing things apart, and now we're going to see a half buy coming in. Orange, they did get the bomb down, so they're going to be able to pick up Deagle's P250s, and interestingly, a Tech 9 on GFI, a very old gun. Haven't seen it much in the meta at all recently, so let's see what they can do with this.
Yeah, we're used to seeing CZs come in on a half-buy situation, but you know, GFI kind of feeling herself a little bit there with the Tech 9 coming through. Of course, second buy with the FAMASs on Iceberg and Tarathiel, as we see him setting up position here. It's an A rush for the T's, but instantly Orange.Sphynx losing 3. All 4 members now. It's just on to GFI. If you can do anything, absolutely not.
And I mean, that is the core problem with Vertigo, literally illustrated to you there. The T's, they weren't able to get anywhere near the sites without the utility to just execute straight in. And when you have that utility, it becomes an instant afterplant scenario. So struggling to get anything done there. Orange.Sphynx falling a little bit quickly to the rifles of Celestè. Keeping all 5 alive, of course, you're going to start to build up your own economy. And you can see them, everybody's got a little bit of cash left in the bank, sticking with the UMPs, the FAMASs, giving themselves as much opportunity to build economy as the first full AK buy will come out from Orange. And going to look for a little bit of presence towards the B bomb site early on with GFI, Molotov to hold her off, as Orange.Sphynx playing very passively into the early round. Not something you normally see T-side of Vertigo.
Yeah, I think they've kind of allowed themselves to slow down just a little bit as they got mowed down without a whole lot of recourse last time. Nades up, smoke.
That's a lovely lineup. Haven't seen that one before.
You can already see Tarathiel taken out in this one. And 3v is not going to drop, but Valenceable and Iceberg will. So all of a sudden, Orange.Sphynx starting to turn things around in their favor. They've only got 2 to deal with.
And a very low HP 3v, struggling to make anything happen between the generators. Afrolin able to get 1 before she's traded out on the UMP, and now Ophelia unable to control the spray of the 4A1. Not a gun you see all that often at all. And 4 players kept alive. Orange.Sphynx, that's much more like it on the T side of Vertigo. They get that execute in, they get the nades across the board, and then they just execute onto the site. Only 2 CT players there, of course, because there's just a lack of information for the CT side. Just drop into that B-bomb site, hit their shots, hit their frags, and it's all too easy to get yourself these rounds on the board.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about, how T-side should be a lot more favored just because of the information that you can glean here. And it looks like we'll continue to see the rushes. It's going to be 4 heading towards the B site. Bomb in tow.
And an interesting buy here from Celestè. They have opted to force. They've got utility, but dropping down onto the FAMASs and even the P90.
You got to be kidding me.
Valenceable
with the P90. I love it.
Not something you see often at all, but going for quite an aggressive mid setup. Valenceable up on the boost, and it looks like 3VE and Jasmine might walk right into the crosshairs here as the early combat is going to come in. Unable to make the P90 work, but the trade is instantaneous from Tarathiel. She's looking to lock down mid. Jasmine desperate to find the refrag, but they're falling all over the place, Orange.Sphynx.
Yeah, you already see Argent down now. It's a 4v3 situation for the CTs. Let's see what Celestè can get done. Smoke's going to clear.
And it looks like Orange.Sphynx going to back off and instead make their way towards A. A lot of B presence early on, but you can see Celestè fairly heavily rotated off of the A bomb site. Afrolin going to make her way up to the self-boost over the top of that Molotov, and she'll spot out the first player. Not quite able to hit the shot onto Jasmine, and then the trade. There we go. Ophelia only able to get 1. Alaska trades out, and now 3v2. Fast flank coming in from Tarathiel, and this could be absolutely key as the bomb goes down.
Waiting up the ramp. Looking for GFI. Dodging it away. Tarathiel didn't quite find the right shot, but will finish it in the end. Alaska goes down.
GFI 1v2 can only get the first. Tarathiel trades out beautifully, and that's exactly what this CT side needs. Celestè looking good so far. CT side of Vertigo, although I will say Orange.Sphynx, they look pretty prepped on this. We've seen a lot of nades coming out from them early on, lining things up, and I didn't expect to see that whatsoever.
Yeah, we talked about this in the beginning, how, how much can you really prep for this new map? However, you definitely make sure that a team like Orange.Sphynx is going to know as much as they can. Even if this isn't the map they're expecting, they're certainly going to be more than competent at it.
Absolutely, and after that early back and forth, you can see nobody's really got a set economy whatsoever. It's going to be 4 AKs and a Galil on the T side for Orange.Sphynx. A fair amount of FAMASs, 3 going to picked up early on by the CT side.
It's interesting. See the French gun coming out so much.
Afrelin dropping a Molotov. They're trying to get the boost into middle, but GFI's read it to perfection, and GFI double kill to completely open up the bomb site. Triple for her, and this round is not looking good at all for Celestè, although Invincible not willing to let it go just yet.
And Molotov's out, but it doesn't quite find purchase here, and through the smoke, Invincible's going to be going, finding a tap onto Jasminism.
3v2 after plant B bomb site. Ophelia, so many angles to clear, but somehow gets the spray good for one. It's a 1v2. Invincible needs to go absolutely huge here. 50% headshot rate, but it's going to need to be 100 in this round as she's making her way in towards the B bomb site. You can see Orange.Sphynx no need to take the contact. The bomb planted for them. GFI going to peek wide early on, but what a headshot to secure the second round for Orange.Sphynx.
A lot of trades back and forth, and we talked about this maybe being one-sided one way or the other when it comes down to it because of the preparation on this map, but it's not the case. Still plenty of rounds to go. And we will see the economy continues to trade back and forth.
And I think that was an ace for GFI in that round. I think she got every single kill.
And
we are going to see a little bit of a replay. GFI, yeah, just completely entering the bomb site by herself. Triple on the end.
This is why we give GFI so many props. Insane player.
Invincible does all she can through the smokes, but nothing there. GFI completely owning the bomb site, as it will be an eco coming in. P250s, couple of default pistols for Celestè. They're trying to get the drop down, the fast play through mid in towards T-spawn. Might be able to catch one, but the support is there. Again, a quad kill for GFI. Just getting those eco frags in as 3VE going to mop up.
Yeah, she survives with 20 health as well. Not what Celestè were hoping for in an eco round. And for the likes of Orange.Sphynx, they continue to show that their experience can come to bear even against the likes of Celestè on a map they may not be as familiar with.
The buy isn't great all the same. Orange.Sphynx are going to have to drop down Jasminism on the UMP as it is the eco once again. A little bit more in terms of pistol firepower. Orange.Sphynx, interestingly, looking to exploit that B bomb site once again. Afrelin drops the early smoke. That takes the information away from the T side, but you can see GFI, same smoker lineup as previously. That cuts off the vision from the bomb sites and allows you to get out in towards Catwalk. Give yourselves a little bit of map to work with, and you can see Celestè, they have no information about what's going on here. The peek over the boost from Tarithiel, not swinging out anyone. Afrelin trying to play around the generators, buy time for her teammates to make the rotation in, but this is going to be a very difficult situation for the pistols. Invincible able to get one, traded out almost instantaneously, and now it should just be a mop-up, and indeed it will. GFI getting one, and Argent just going to spray away through the rest of the generators, and this round is all but done.
Absolutely. You can see not much you can do when you're in a situation like that where you're just facing off against the likes of pistols. I'm sure they're happy they managed to get GFI and 3v down, but Iceberg, at this point, just going to try and go for as many kills as possible, as much damage as possible, try to remove some of those guns, especially the likes of the AKs on Argent and Alaska.
Oh, could we see the jump here? A nice lineup to clear the vents.
Oh,
it looks like.
Got it. Iceberg manages at least one here.
Alaska with no idea that that angle was open at all, and perhaps that's the inexperience of Orange.Sphynx on
You're
this map.
kidding me! It's a 1v1! Oh. It's all over. Jasminism was stalking. That is going to be it, but I don't know, man. Celestè made Orange.Sphynx pay for that dearly.
Oh, I mean, if you're Orange.Sphynx, you have got to be wondering how that went so badly wrong so quickly. 1 P250, no armor, and she still manages to get 3 kills in the round. Bring it back to the 1 versus 1. If Jasminism hadn't been covering that, that could have gone so badly wrong. Celestè looking like they are ready to come up fighting, and we are going to see the AWP coming out first time. Ophelia going to get that into her hands and start to make it her way towards that A bomb site. Looks like it's going to be the solo hold with the AWP. Fairly common to see on Vertigo as a 3-man stack for the CTs in towards B early on. We have seen Orange.Sphynx looking to pressure that area of the map a lot, but it looks like they're going to change things up and walk right into the AWP. Will they have the utility to make this one work?
Yeah, that's the question right now, because if they start losing a couple of members on that rotate, it's going to be rough to try and recover. Celestè can always call over reinforcements as most of them are split up through this default here.
Ophelia has got to be conscious of the boost through the gap, but Alaska just peeks right into the crosshairs, and now the support can start to come in. The bomb has to go down now for Orange.Sphynx, and it's on the back of Argent, who is gunned down. Tarithiel holding that bomb site down, and now 3v5. Orange.Sphynx struggling to get anything going on A.
Yeah, Molotov's out. Tarithiel's going to have to back off, down to 31 health. There's Invincible. So, Orange.Sphynx still have some teeth here. If they can find Tarithiel, they find Ophelia. That drops the op. Wouldn't happen, though, because 19 health still remaining here.
Oh, that nade.
3v. Good nade shot.
3v, no idea the boost is there. Still able to get one, gets the second. The support is there, and somehow Orange.Sphynx holding down, and that is the afterplant on T side of Vertigo. Afterplant scenarios become so favorable for the T side. So just getting that bomb down, even if you're 3v5 as Orange.Sphynx were, is an absolutely key turning point. As again, Celestè, the economy not there behind them. They're going to be back down onto the pistols, CZs, P250s, Deagles. What can they make happen with this? A little bit of armor and support as well, but very limited utility. Going to have to see something a little bit unusual against the AKs and full buy of the Orange.Sphynx side. As again, 3v breaking that window. Might have seen that one on the War Owls channel. He's been learning all of the available smokes, and that is an early smoke in towards the A-bomb site, as the presence actually towards B. And again, CT side, no presence here at all.
Yeah, fast rotation just on a couple, and it looks like the bomb's not with them, but now they're going to be knowing something is up here. Celestè instantly making a scramble for it, but we're already seeing Afrelin taken down to one. Oreophilia eliminated. Not much you can do when you're stuck on the pistols.
And Afrelin on exactly 1 point of health has managed to recover herself an AK-47, so a little bit of potential there perhaps, but it is a 4v2. The bomb's going to go down on that B-bomb site. And struggling to get anything done. It was an interesting strat coming out from the Celestè side as Jasminism gets another one, and it is the 1 HP player trying to save that AK last alive. But I like the idea, what they were looking to do there, drop down the elevator shaft and perhaps ambush a T-side player or two, making their way in towards A, but not going to be working out at all. And Afrelin just left to try and keep her hands on a rifle, give them something to work with into this next buy. Keeping one rifle up should allow a decent amount of economy across the CT roster. You will see Valenceable a little bit low on cash, so potentially looking for a drop to allow herself to pick up a little bit more utility. Hunt coming in from Orange.Sphynx, not going to be spotting out too much yet. Afrelin just hiding behind the forklift, buying herself as much time as possible as that bomb timer hits down. The Orange.Sphynx, they're going to walk into her. How many could she get here? Argent looking the wrong way.
Yeah, it's over.
She will go down. Luckily for her, CT side, you are getting that loss bonus whether you die or not. So no concerns there. The money pretty well spread across that CT side, as we will see first pause coming in. And just a moment to take a breath. Such a quick first 9 rounds on Vertigo.
It really has, but it's been back and forth, back and forth. We haven't seen anybody really stack like a consistent number of wins with like outside of maybe 2 or 3 to top.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's been most interesting for me, is that there has been adaptation both on the Celestè and Orange.Sphynx side. And while individual rounds might have been lopsided, we don't see that happening over the course of the game. And that does speak a lot about, honestly, the parity here between these two teams on Vertigo.
Exactly. You would expect Orange.Sphynx to be putting up some serious numbers on that T side. They did struggle initially, but they've started to find their footing now, and they're starting to make it count. You can see players like GFI, the veteran, the one to watch on that Orange.Sphynx roster, really showing up, getting herself an ace to take down a full rifle buy from the CT siders. They will again be able to pick up the AWP.
Also want to keep an eye on Iceberg from the Celestè side, because you saw what she could do with just a pistol. Well, now they've got their full rifle buys, and AWP on Oreo as well. So she can get done. GFI is going down fast, though. That doesn't bode well for Orange.Sphynx here. They may be up in the rounds, but they are down in the numbers, and Valenceable is going to get evened out, but Alaska falls as well.
Oreophilia still alive with the AWP and still doing work. Misses the second flick shot, misses the third, will finally be taken down, but already the fast flank turretial. Jasmine has no idea she's there, and this is all too easy. The mop up from Celestè, getting themselves a 4th CT side on the board, keeping 3 rifles up, including 2 saved AK-47s, and this is beginning to look like it has the makings of a very strong CT side for Celestè. They really made that round work. The early peak from Oreophilia without any utility to back it, not something Orange.Sphynx would have been expecting at all. A little bit of a play out of nowhere, and it works to perfection, missing a couple of shots on the site, but we'll glaze over that as it is going to be the 5 AKs full utility once again. Orange.Sphynx, a little bit of money left in the bank, so they will be investing into this one. The early Molotov just cuts out the mid presence as Iceberg wants to get aggressive off it. Gets an early pick as well. Argent taken down towards the B staircase.
GFI just going to have to retreat over to A. And you can already see dropping Jasminism Alaska. 3v as well, finished off by Valenceable.
And the trade frags are just so efficient there from that Celestè side. You can see the 2 players towards mid read it to perfection, and it's Oreophilia to lock out the last man. GFI just jiggle peeking the angle, gives herself a little bit of room to maneuver, and she should be able to get this bomb down. 4 versus 1 for the veteran. Does have a little bit of utility to work with, but already being locked out by the Molotovs from Celestè.
Yeah, a bit of an extra money to work with from the plant. Manages to get at least 1 kill before going down. Over plenty of time to defuse, so Celestè will take that round.
Oreophilia going to stick that one up, and it will be a 5th round, 6-5. This one is getting very tight on the first half. Celestè on the CT side of their map pick, showing us what they can do. And Orange.Sphynx, look like they're just lacking a little bit in terms of the execute potential. We have seen a couple of set nades towards the B-bomb site, but in terms of that A presence, there really hasn't been a lot of smokes, mollies, flashes thrown to give them the opportunity to get into that site. We've seen the one round they got an afterplant scenario, 5v3 on that A-bomb site, they win it. And it's all too easy, but they're not quite putting themselves in that position as, again, they are able to get the full buy out, a little bit short on the utility this time, and of course Celestè really starting to build themselves up a little bit of cash.
Iceberg, 3v already taken down as they kind of start coming to blows there over on the outside of B. Up through Suicide, here comes Orange.Sphynx, looking for the bomb plant. Invincible, already going to find one.
Seen that same angle abused twice now as a 3 versus 3 afterplant scenario. Argent stuck on the bomb site, drops the Molotov to force the CT presence out, and she will do just that. Invincible taken down. Tarithiel has to trade, but the flank is so good from GFI, and now 15 HP. Oraphelia 1 versus 2. She knows where one of these players are, but
how good is your op?
So little utility to get into this site, and a smoke and a flashbang, and you can see just backing off, try and keep their hands on the AWP. There is money available on Afrelin, on Oraphelia. They can drop a couple of rifles across, and it could be a pretty decent buy. The loss bonus, not going to be much at all, so try and keep your hands on that AWP. Give yourself something to build off into the next round.
Yeah, man, what a first half this has been. We have a couple more rounds to go before we see how it all shakes out, but man, back and forth constantly. Economy's starting to build up, though, much better this time around.
And we are going to see Oraphelia instantly drops the M4A1 across, and teammate Afrelin plenty of cash in the bank as well, so it's going to be at least 4 rifles on that CT side. Looks like they are just about going to be able to squeeze 5 out. Tarithiel sacrificing a lot of utility to get that situation available, but it's quite the same story on the Orange.Sphynx side. You can see Alaska absolutely no nades to try and work with, so relying on your teammates as it will be, again, early presence towards B, and the headshots coming in.
That's a trade back and forth. Once again, Afrelin's able to find at least one while Iceberg gets taken down first, and we're in a 4v4. Afrelin ducking behind the crate.
Alaska's gone through middle as well and managed to take one player out. Afrelin trying to do what she can as Tarithiel gets a second. Burns, though, down to just low HP. Alaska all too easy to find, and now, again, Oraphelia 2 versus 1 with the AWP.
This time, though, she's got full health. Feeling a little bit more confident as the bomb plant goes down. Orange.Sphynx feeling like they can take that round. Peek around the side. Oreo is lit. Down to 50%. Gets at least one. Back shot.
1 versus 1. Jasmine has to play this to perfection. Just playing behind the boxes. Oraphelia looking for it. She knows the player is there. She's just going to slow peek. And Jasmine, does she have any idea? The no-scope is missed. Somehow, Orange.Sphynx get themselves an 8th. And that looked like some serious miscommunication. Alaska looking completely the wrong way. No idea the AWP was there. And just gets gunned down in the back.
It's been hectic rounds, and I think, really, it's hard to predict how an individual movement's going to go every single time here, and that's why we see these rounds getting traded back and forth, not a lot of momentum being built by either team. That being said, we are seeing Orange.Sphynx start to pull away a little bit here, 5-8 as we enter round 14.
If Celestè can get a 6th round on the CT side, I would say they've had a very successful first half of Vertigo, as they will be back down onto UMPs for Iceberg, FAMAS, M4, and another UMP onto Invincible. Full buy still very much in session for Orange.Sphynx, as they're going to play a nice early passive round, just looking for any kind of peaks. They know that Celestè like to get aggressive, and indeed Invincible pushed all the way through middle in towards T-spawn. There is a player watching for this. GFI looks like she's just backed off. This could be an absolutely huge timing. If Invincible can get a pick here, that's a rifle recoverable, and there's really no trade capacity whatsoever for the T's, as she is going on a very, very long flank. Heavy B presence. As Orange.Sphynx, they're just slowing everything down here. They don't look like they want to execute anywhere just yet.
This is the slowest round we've seen thus far. It's been a lot of chaos up until this point, but as we get closer to the half, everybody taking stock of the situation they find themselves in, watching Tarithiel right now. Try to peek in, Invincible on that, looking for 1, looking for 3v, but it's turned around right on top of her.
4 versus 4. The flank is good for 1, but that's all they managed to achieve, as the B-bomb site completely open here, and that is all too easy. Orange.Sphynx going to get the plant, and again, we're going to see this after plant scenario, which does so heavily favor the T side. There's going to need to be some picks somewhere for Celestè to really get back into this, and Iceberg, perhaps the one to find it up on the boost, spots out 3v, gets some good damage through, but in the meanwhile, her teammates are falling all around her. Will be able to get the first. There's tags to work with on the 3 remaining players, but looking the wrong way. Jasminism and Argent combine to perfection. 1v1 Iceberg on just 19 points of health, needs to get into this site, but the utility, the firepower, it's just not there.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like it's probably going to be a safe situation. Just backing away, no time to really defuse the bomb, even with the kits, so it will be going to Orange.Sphynx in round 14. We'll have one more before the half.
Interesting that she didn't opt to pick up the M4 that was right next to her. But
oh, yeah.
These things happen. Yeah. 9-5 the scoreline. We do see the pause just being called before the last round of the half. And, I mean, as I said previously, if they can get a 6th round, this is a seriously successful CT side. Celestè, they haven't had the economy behind them, but they've made really innovative individual plays, and they've found frags through them. A really impressive first half of CS, I would say, from both teams, considering Orange.Sphynx haven't played a lot of Vertigo at all from what we could see. They've pulled out T-side strats. They've had the nades to work out, and indeed it is the timeout from Celestè, as they're just trying to work out how to get themselves over that hump, get themselves a 6th round with what little money they have left in the bank.
I think they got to be pretty happy with what's happened in the very beginning. You talked about a very successful round would be at 6. And yeah, just force buy whatever you can. The P90 coming in again now for Valenceable. And who really has stood out in your mind on this Celestè side in these 14 rounds?
I mean, for Celestè, it's surprisingly enough, it's been a really heavy team effort. Horeophilia has shown up with that AWP and pulled off some really nice individual plays, but they've just been playing as a unit. They've been playing really cohesively on the CT side, where there's been aggressions. They've been backed up with refrags, as we are going to see Orange.Sphynx making a little bit of presence in towards middle. The boost coming out again. Valenceable on the P90, and what a flashbang. Alaska's still able to find the frag, but again, the trade's not quite there. GFI with the double spray down. Yeah,
GFI might have taking 90 hits of damage, but not nearly enough as the T's come up through the ramp and able to finish off the remaining CTs. It's only going to be Horeophilia, and that's going to be another plant situation. We'll see if she can try to clutch this out, but it won't be easy before the half.
Tags to work with is the only thing going for Horeophilia on the UMP, hiding behind the door. GFI, she's not been cleared. Somehow the low HP favors Horeophilia. A missed shot. AK-47 recovered. There's utility to work with as well. The Molotov goes down towards the back of the bomb site. They're trying to isolate the 1v1s here. Jasmine still staying alive on the site though, and she will find the frag. 10-5 at the half. Orange.Sphynx able to get themselves into double digits, largely thanks to GFI, who has dropped 21 frags in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely MVV performance, but it has been a team effort across the board. You can see that also very clearly on the Celestè members. So not getting that magic number 6 for the round, you still have to think pretty respectable performance for a team that just formed prior to this tournament. They have some experience, as we have already alluded to, on some of their members, but up against the likes of Orange.Sphynx on Vertigo, they've got 5, and they just need to pick up more in the second half.
This pistol is big for Orange.Sphynx. CT pistol, if they get this, they potentially string 2 or 3 rounds off the back of it. Then they give themselves a real platform, only needing a few more rounds CT side. So this pistol could literally decide the half, as we will see. Celestè just taking their time. Haven't actually picked up any utility yet. Valenceable yet to buy armor, so there could be some kind of a pickup. Doesn't look like it. Valenceable, not quite sure why she wouldn't buy armor at all, but it will be USPS's defuse and a smoke onto Jasminism. They are playing retake fairly strongly towards the A-bomb site as 3v goes up on the early self-boost. Not able to find the shots, though, and Celestè starting to make their way out onto the site. Argent missing a few as well, and they're just looking to storm through. 3v manages to get a first and a second as they're crossing, and Tarithiel only gets the first trade. Valenceable, though, firing from on high, manages to make it a 3 versus 3, and Tarithiel strafing with the Glock will get it down to 3v2. A USPS picked up for the ranged efforts from the T side as Alaska goes for the peak, but Tarithiel has got it locked down.
Alaska, the only one that could really try to get those out. Bomb plant does go down here. Strathiel trying to keep the cover. Taking a little bit of damage, down to 40.
3 versus 1. The USPS has to hit the headshots here. There's so many tags to work with, but they have to hit these headshots. Not quite hitting it. Over.
Too many targets. Not much you can do there, so Celestè will take the pistol round.
Celestè just absolutely running over that bomb site, honestly. It looked so good for Orange.Sphynx. 3v finding a couple of early frags out of absolutely nowhere, but the round just disintegrates. A couple of missed shots, a couple of missed opportunities, and now they're looking down the barrel of a very sobering buy. They are going to get GFI on the Deagle, P250s for a couple of Orange.Sphynx, but not a lot to work with whatsoever. 3 UMPs for Celestè, an interesting call. Not looking to pick up the moneymaker, the MAC-10, but they're going to rush straight down middle with these pistols, looking for the elevator drop, and Afrelin has read it to perfection. A triple for her before she's traded, and this round not going how GFI and Orange.Sphynx would have envisioned it whatsoever.
Yeah, GFI can get a few people on that Deagle. Maybe you can get something for it. Oh, Horeophilia is so close to dropping, but no dice. Only Afrelin getting eliminated on the Celestè side that round.
And especially considering they didn't actually drop one of the AK-47s, only dropping the UMP, so they're not going to be too worried about that in terms of firepower or economy, so they're going to instantly Afrelin, the only player to fall in that round, reinvests onto the AK-47 first by the half, and we are seeing the AUG onto Argent. Interestingly, 3 Famases and an M4A1. The money not really there at all for Orange.Sphynx, as just the one AUG picked up.
It's not the AUG we've seen all day.
I know, right?
Yeah. Man, unscoped nerf hitting hard. Opening up. Oh, GFI's dropped immediately there. Spray out from Valenceable. Turned around again.
Not quite able to get the second. Argent just about trades it out. The damage is there to work with, but the spam through from 3v is significant, and you can see the UMP is struggling to get anything done, trying to get up close and personal, but the utility leaves them open.
Yeah, now it's down to Iceberg and Afterlin facing down the rest of Orange.Sphynx, and they will be able to start evening those odds a little bit as Iceberg takes out 3v.
The fast flank from Afterlin could be absolutely huge here.
It's just distraction, though. They want to get the plant down at A, but there's too many Orange.Sphynx members nearby.
Iceberg is desperate to get onto that site, but you can see too many players and
Afterlin.
too many sides to shoot from. The trade is there, instantaneous. Orange.Sphynx do get their 11th on the board, just 5 more rounds needed on the CT side of Vertigo.
Oh boy, 7-11 here in the second half now. Orange.Sphynx really starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Celeste will have to match them.
And do they have that extra gear? Do this mixed roster newly formed have the ability to take it up a notch? They will be buying into the AK-47s. Galil for Tarithiel, just not the cash to get that firepower out. Are actually seeing the second AUG brought out. GFI adapting to the new meta in style. 3 FAMASs for the rest of the CT side as it is going to be early presence in towards the A-ramp. Starting to push up instantly, Celeste. The utilities drop to buy a little bit of time for 3VE, but she needs support. She needs it now. The Molotov forcing her back off the site.
Yeah, right in the fire and the flames. Tarithiel already down to half health, and see if she can stay alive, trying to prime the nade here as we shift our attention back over to the A site. The rest of the T's are over there, but through the smoke, this is a dangerous situation, getting the spray through. And that is going to be a 3v2 here, but Tarithiel has almost no health to work with, and it's absolute chaos on the A site. Bomb plant does go down.
And Jasminism left 1 versus 3. Tarithiel going on an absolute tear on just 14 points of health, finding herself a double kill with the Galil in her hands, the only player on that lesser firepower. There's now 3 versus 1. Jasminism brought down to just 15 points of health. Nothing more to do in this round. She's just going to be trying to save that FAMAS. You can see the cash not really built up for Orange.Sphynx at all.
No, so this one will go Celeste's way, the 8-11 here in their favor. So we continue to see trades back and forth, back and forth. Orange.Sphynx, they might have gotten a few rounds padding, but this is not a safe lead by any means.
Exactly, and I mean 8-11, Celeste within 3 rounds of drawing things level on the T side of Vertigo, and really that is the key factor. Celeste are on the T side of Vertigo in this map. It is relentless. CT side struggle to get anything going, and we have seen that fairly consistently as we get into the middle stages of this second half. Are going to be able to pick up the pistols, Orange.Sphynx, but the cash running very, very low. You can see a couple of Deagles onto GFI and 3V, but they're not as effective on the CT side as they are on the T. No opportunity to group up, no opportunity to try and isolate frags, as it will be the AUG actually saved on Tarithiel, upgrading from that Galil.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? Galil save, not always the best situation for yourself as they set up the scope here. Looks like a default fanning out from Celeste. 3 on the A site, 2 of them over towards mid, and just nades covering. Ooh. Bit of a bounce there, unfortunate.
Iceberg burns 3V alive, and they are just going to get this bomb site. The dink comes through onto Aurelia, but through the side of the wall. A little bit unfortunate as Valenceable just starting to mop up these pistols. The fast flank through mid finally working out for 1. A little bit of team damage done, but the confusion isn't going to do too much. Celeste, Aurelia actually switching out to the pistol. Jasminism will be able to get 1, getting a second before the trade comes through, so the damage is done. Orange.Sphynx, at the very least, are making these rounds a little bit more expensive than they otherwise might be for Celeste, as the reinvestment is going to have to come in again. You can see the players who died, they don't have a lot of cash left in the bank whatsoever. Iceberg on 6.3 should be able to drop across and get a fairly strong full buyout, as we will see Orange.Sphynx full rifle buy, little bit of utility to work with, but otherwise they're starting to struggle. GFI's got nothing and neither is Argent.
This is what happens when the teams are kind of making each round a little bit more expensive for each other. You start to see desperation moves, you start to see some forces coming through, but as you mentioned, it is all full rifles. It's just the ones that they might not necessarily want always. Bomb gets left near middle.
A little bit of a boost coming in from Orange.Sphynx. I haven't seen this one before. Boosting from the back of the wooden box, getting that view in towards the A-ramp. This will not be an angle that Celeste look to check whatsoever. If this angle works out, it could be absolutely huge, but all it will take is one person from that Celeste side to look the right way, and the boost actually drops out at the most important moment. The utility being thrown by Celeste forces them back in towards the site. And they've got that mid presence. Celeste actually using an area of the map that we don't see too often at all, and GFI doesn't really seem to be aware of that potential. Plenty of mid to work with for the T side. Where will they look to explode now?
Yeah. GFI was looking to check through door. Not going just yet. And it looks like Celeste have kind of backed off this for the time being. They don't know how many members are at the B site. They know there's at least someone. And, of course, 3v, the only one been eliminated in this game so far. Afterlin getting tagged there by GFI. Alaska finding Tarithiel. All in the hallway. Bomb gets picked up. And Valenceable is able to help Celeste win that round.
The double spray down works out to perfection. I had no idea where that round was going. It looked like Celeste were just looking for picks here, there, and everywhere before they finally opt to drop down in towards the B-bomb site. using the flanks really effectively, the T side of Celeste. They are frequently putting a lot of presence towards one bomb site and then just sending a lone player the other way to try and mop up players who go for the fast rotate off of the CTs, as we will see a fairly strong half-buy coming out. They have all got upgraded pistols, a couple of Deagles, CZs, 5.7 in fact for Argent, not something you see all that often as it is going to be a fast play. Drop down the A-ramp.
Oh my word, Valenceable getting dropped in all the hectic crossfire right there, but they will wipe out everybody but GFI.
1 versus 3 recovers herself an AK-47 and makes her way towards the A bomb site, which is where Celeste are looking to make this happen. Iceberg on the flank could be absolutely key as GFI is going to start to peek out from the elevators. Terithio isolated on the site.
Bomb dropped. Oh, the accuracy just not quite where GFI needed it right now, and that will be the round all tied up, 11-11.
If a GFI had armor there, she could have done that. The aim punch just a little bit too much on the CT side, a little bit unfortunate if we're honest there. Very, very close to making it happen, as we will see the AWP brought out. That's not a common buy on CT side, and we've seen both of these teams looking to pick it up. Everything drawn level, and now this is where Celeste, they can look to start to accelerate.
All right, so GFI definitely feeling that she can get a couple of shots on the op. See if she can match up to what Oreophilia was doing in the first half. Quick rotate out here, over by mid for Celeste, and they're going to drop GFI instantly.
Lonely
Not a chance to use that op. Alaska as well. Oh, down by the AK, Valenceable. Looks like we're down into a 3v3 situation here as Oreo on that op.
Recover the ult from GFI, and they are going to make their way in towards that B-bomb site. The Molotov's going to force Jasmine to stick or twist here, makes her way out towards the generators. Aphrodite might not know that she's in that corner.
She smokes. Oh boy, get the angle on the Molotov. Gonna light one up, not what they needed.
Not going to be able to clear the angle. The AWP is coming in. Oreophilia with the bomb on her back, but it's a very, very long rotate in towards that B-bomb site. And you can see Celeste, they are trying to lock it down, but they have no idea.
And they've lost 2, including Oreophilia. That's just Afrolin now. Stuck behind the shipping container. Nearly gets Argent down to 2 health, but that is going to be the round. Orange.Sphynx will take it.
Just about making it happen there. 3v making an absolutely huge play from up on the boost on mid. It was a really interesting misfire. Orange.Sphynx, they sent GFI with that AWP in towards mid with absolutely no support. No player to throw utility, nobody to re-peek on the angles. And when you're stuck behind that mid sandbags area, there is nothing you can do. The utility locks you out. The firepower's got you covered, and it was just a little bit of a misplay. Luckily, they do just about mop that round up, and you can see a lot of conversation going on between the players. They know how important this first map could be.
Yeah, builds momentum, sets expectations. It's everything. I mean, it's a bit symbolic as well. You want to get off to a good start, even if you're able to recover later on. It is best of 3s. You don't want to worry about just this map. We've still got Dust 2 coming up, and if it turns around after that, Inferno awaits. We will be taking a look at the replay, and man, low downs.
That spray down just absolutely perfect. You could see Celeste, they had no idea the mid player was there, no information on that, and it makes it all too easy for 3v. The AUG, the laser that it was and still is apparently, even after the meta. CGFI looked like she was waiting for a boost there. Orange.Sphynx, nobody in towards mid in support. As again, Celeste, they're looking for a little bit of presence towards the A-ramp. Now 3v, first time we've seen a player up towards the sandbags. It's a little bit of a one and done spot, but can the AUG make it happen?
Can't quite find on the peak the damage she was looking for. 3v moving out again this time, takes down Iceberg, knocks the bomb out as well, and it's going to be a bit tough for the recovery though, because they lose just about everybody. Down to Alaska. GFI make that just GFI.
She does get the bomb down, though. 1 versus 2. She knows the flank is there on Valenceable. This is going to be all about the timing. Makes her way down the ramp and can't quite get the spray. Celeste draw things level, and that was all down to Terithio. Gets the trade on the sandbags player and instantly 180s to find the second frag.
You see somebody that plays like that, you absolutely know you want to stay clear of their sights. Orange.Sphynx finding that out to their peril. 12-12. Halfway down the way, it has been an insane several rounds here. Both teams trading out well. I have no idea who's going to take Vertigo here, Wolfie.
I don't think anybody does. And again, you see the pistols coming out from Orange.Sphynx. Fairly common on the CT side these days to see these kind of half-buys. 3v picks up the utility to allow the peaks as Terithio goes fast right into the crosshairs of GFI. That Deagle has been so good to her, and Argent gets a second. This round is falling apart.
It really is. It's 4v2 right now. Rifles versus pistols. You don't see this all the time. And Oreophilia and Iceberg, all of a sudden, they might just realize this is not a great place to be as they have to hold out by mid. Both bomb sites covered by the remaining Orange.Sphynx players.
And there's rifles recoverable here as well. There's 3 AKs on the ground. If those CT players opt to get aggressive, they get rifles in their hand. You can see GFI and 3v, they've got armor. There's no aim punch to be concerned about this time. And GFI, after coming so close, will be looking to make it happen here as the bomb is starting to make a very, long rotate in towards the B-bomb site. Ophelia, interestingly, has split away from the bomb planter. She's trying to make that fake play towards B, but she's getting tagged everywhere, and GFI will take her down with the Deagle Iceberg. 1 versus 4.
And, well, 0 versus 4 at this point. What a round turnaround from Orange.Sphynx. On the half-buy, they even managed to pick up a couple of AKs before the round ends.
What a way to get the lead as well with just those pistols. That has really got to boost your spirits on the CT side, managing to save themselves a couple of AK-47s, start to build up that bank, as we are going to see Celestè. They got to drop down onto the half-buy. Invincible picking up the MAC-10 pistols for her teammates, and this is going to take something truly special from Celestè to stop it going to just 2 rounds difference. Early presence from the T side is going to be in towards mid. Interestingly, these pistols looking to isolate that fight, taking a little bit of Molotov damage, but they have got into a position. Afrelin could opt to boost Tarithiel up over that box. Not going to be looking to do so just yet. She is crouching round the corner. Plenty of presence here for the CT side, and plenty of utility as well.
Oh boy, so it's just a battle of the nades right now as the frag comes out, and Celestè backing away. Over by mid. Held up for just a minute.
Is going to go for the boost up on top of those boxes.
Argent's watching though, and there's the peek! Ooh, right behind the angle. Afrelin barely gets tagged on the top there, and Tarithiel missed as well. Meanwhile, that was a long spray, but at the end of the day, Celestè do lose more members, and Iceberg going down as well. It's just Tarithiel versus 4 remaining members of Orange.Sphynx.
Gets the headshot onto the second, but 1 versus 3. Oh, the AK. No more bullets left in the chamber of the AK-47. I thought Tarithiel had a chance there, but the lack of bullets betrays her. 14-12 the scoreline, and Celestè, they're on the ropes here. 2 rounds away, Orange.Sphynx, from taking this first map, and of course, taking the map pick of Celestè. That would be absolutely huge in this series.
It certainly would. This was the map that Celestè prepped for this, but you can see calm, cool, collected communication coming out of Orange.Sphynx. Once again, they know that they can take this round from the CT side. Only 3 rounds remaining.
And the buy is not good at all from Celestè. They have got 4 AKs of Galil, but so limited in their utility. You can see the fast play has to come out, and GFI peeking through the gap does get some good damage down. Tarithiel able to find the frag in towards the bomb site, though.
Looks up. 1-2. Oh! Tagged both Tarithiel and Iceberg, but lost her life as well, GFI. And now, the rest of Orange.Sphynx have to hustle back over to A site.
And the rotate from Invincible. She's trying to cut out the rotation. She'll hear the jump, and she will get the frag. Jasmine has them taken down. Now it's a 5 versus 2. Alaska and Argent, do they just save at this point? Argent's in an awful position, absolutely locked into the bomb site. You can see Alaska trying to bait for it, as Argent could actually get some extra round damage here. I don't think they have any idea.
Invincible was not watching that angle.
2 rifles kept alive. Orange.Sphynx, they will concede a 13th round to Celestè as this one goes all the way down to the wire, but you can see the bank is just built up across that Orange.Sphynx side. Alaska on 7.7k. With the loss bonus, that's 2 rifles she can drop, or even an AWP for GFI. 3V's got 8 grand after the loss bonus, so much money for Orange.Sphynx. Not the same story at all on that Celestè side. They do manage to save themselves 4 rifles, and that could be their saving grace here. They're going to be able to get a fair amount of utility out, as the buy will come in for Orange.Sphynx. Not going to pick up the AWP. GFI a little bit ineffective in towards middle with that, so going to be sticking with the M4A4.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of varieties in guns here on Vertigo. Very little AUG use, and hard to tell if that's a map-specific thing or if that's just what Orange.Sphynx and Celestè like to do, and we are underway in the 20th round. Only 3 remaining here on Vertigo. A couple of nades come out.
Looking for that early presence in towards the A ramp. Oh, Iceberg tapping away, takes down 3V. The boost not working out whatsoever, and they're going to look to execute off of this. GFI.
That's Iceberg though. 1. Angle. Looking for 2. Didn't quite find it here. It's 4v3 situation. Invincible tagged a little bit as the rest of the T's rotate over to A site. Molotov's down in the cover. Argent looking to try and get something off the peak here. Doesn't see Ophelia through the smoke. Here's Alaska. Sprays through. It's Argent finding 1, but tagged back, and now it's down to Afrelin versus Alaska, and Jasmineism coming up the ramp. Afrelin has the angle, and it's a 1v1, and now it's all over. Orange.Sphynx will take it just in time for the defuse.
And that is map point, and how important could that be? The bomb gets defused, 15-13. Orange.Sphynx, they've secured themselves OT. They need 1 more round to take this one. The pause will come in. The Celestè have got to be wondering what they need to do to unlock this side. An absolutely huge performance from GFI, sitting on 30 frags, 23 deaths, a couple of 20 bombs across the Celestè roster. Invincible and Tarithiel both posting some seriously impressive numbers, but GFI, that one to watch on the Orange.Sphynx side, is just showing up huge.
Yeah, she has really had a standout performance here on Vertigo, and if they can take 1 more round, all over for Celestè here in their own map pick as the tac pause is out for them. still, you can see how calm the likes of Orange.Sphynx are. This is the experience shining through. It doesn't matter, they say. If you pick a map that we're not as familiar with, we will still conquer.
Exactly, and Orange.Sphynx, they have looked so good. Their aim has been crisp. They've been reading the plays really well from Celeste. We haven't seen so often on Celeste's CT side, we saw them having to play after plant in a situation where they had nobody on the bomb side, but it's just not been the same for Orange.Sphynx. As 3v going to get a little bit aggressive early on with the Org in her hands, trying to get the angle, but there's so much presence here from Celeste. Can they get the shots off?
Just on the leg, unfortunately, not finding the damage they needed, and 3v takes way too much for her trouble here. GFI throwing down the smoke, trying to cover. Over here, around the angle of A. Bomb coming through the rush from Celeste. They haven't picked it up just yet.
They don't look committed to either bomb site just yet. They're going to send Oriophilia up with the UMP. Of course, close range, that SMG can be really effective. The tag to work with as well onto 3v, trying to play towards the back of side, but what a headshot from Oriophilia to open up A. And now a 4 versus 4. This is where things start to get a little bit interesting. It looks like Orange.Sphynx are going to commit fairly heavily to the A bomb site. Valinsipals have managed to make her way up through the gap in the wood, recently added, of course. And Argent, holding the cross angle, does get the first frag. The bomb's still on the back.
That's why you keep your scope up.
GFI gets another.
This could be it. It's down to Iceberg on the AK right now, looking for one more.
A 1 versus 4 gets the tag as well, down to 46 HP, and there's Orange.Sphynx players
all
everywhere.
over.
Of course it would be GFI to secure it out with a triple kill on that A bomb site, posting up some seriously impressive stats. 16 to 13 the scoreline. Orange.Sphynx takes Celeste's map pick.
Wow, that's all I can say. It looked so close for so long, and it was just down to a couple of rounds that didn't go the way Celeste would have wanted. You don't see them as worried about it as they could be. It was their map pick after all, but it's a chaotic map. It's a map where it's hard to tell what's going to happen, and they did pull it very close. But Orange.Sphynx, experience wins the day on map number 1.
And that experience really showed. You can almost pinpoint that entire matchup the moment it spun. You can pin that down to when Orange.Sphynx had those pistol buys. That pistol buy, they won the round, they got themselves rifles, and from there, they just started to accelerate into the matchup.
Yeah, I think you're right. It really came down to a lot of the turnarounds in the second half. That first, I think it was really kind of hard to tell where the momentum was swinging because it did just go back and forth. You had one round go one way, one round go another. There were a couple of clutch performances out of a couple of the Celeste members, and I think it's key. You pointed out that the kills were kind of evenly spread across the team. There wasn't necessarily a star player on Celeste. It's very apparent that that's the case on Orange.Sphynx, though, with GFI, and as you pointed out, kind of fitting that the end of the round, the end of the map ends with GFI getting that last shot.
Yeah, an absolutely huge performance from her to secure Vertigo for her team, and that's not something you expect coming out from Orange.Sphynx. She is the standout player, but quite often they play as a team. They get frags across the board, as we are going to head to a very brief break, and we'll be back with you soon for some more CS.
How do you reveal the hidden enemies in PUBG? Adjust the black equalizer to brighten darker areas, which makes it easier to spot enemies hiding in the shadows. How do you make your PUBG experience more diverse and convenient? Color Vibrance allows for more realistic and vibrant colors. It also provides the convenience to tune colors in-game, making you see the change instantly. Save up to 3 different settings based on your preferences, and use the S switch to quickly change between those settings.
Welcome everybody back once again to the ZOWIE DIVINA CSGO Women's Asia Championship for 2019. We are one map done and dusted, and speaking of dusted, well, Wolfie, we're going on to dust too.
The map that is beyond time itself, an ancient map. It's been in the game since 1.6, since Source.
Polar opposite from what we're seeing after the Vertigo round.
But I think we could see a very similar result to what we saw in Vertigo. I think it is the pick of Orange.Sphynx, and clearly they've picked it in some confidence. They aren't the kind of team that would just pick a map off the back of fear of Vertigo, so I think they've got something in store for us today.
Yeah, you talked about it being a map a lot of people will default to for sort of puggy reasons. Everybody's familiar with it. As you said, it is the oldest map. It is the one that everyone is familiar with, CSGO 101. And what do you expect them to be coming out with here, as they won't have the pick, of course, since it was their map pick? We're going to leave it to Celestè to decide on CT or T first.
I think potentially we're going to see Celestè try and hit the T side first, try and hit the ground running, hit that puggy style of play that they are going to need to bring out as a mixed roster. For Orange Esports, for Orange.Sphynx, it's going to be really important for them to build, really, as we are going to go straight into the pistol. As the match will get underway.
Looks like CT is taken by Celestè.
An interesting decision, to say the least, but
okay.
Orange.Sphynx going to take the advantage. They do get a smoke and a couple of flashbangs onto 3v as well early on. Ophelia going to pick up the HE and the defuse kit for the CT side, as its early presence towards the tunnels, a little bit of spam through mid for Vincible.
Yeah, you can see the bomb kind of being held back for just a little bit on this pistol round as everybody joins up to run through mid. And you can see it being covered by Vincible, but giving way, backing off. Don't want to take too much damage. Jasminism is taken down, so is Iceberg, and we're in a 4v4 scenario.
And this is all down to Ophelia here. A huge hold for the bomb site. She can't get anything done. Alaska just gunning down, hits the headshot, and then the trade is done. Vincible catching the window peak before it really becomes too much of an issue. So 3 versus 3 after plant. There's still potential for the CT side, but very limited utility as the push starts to come right into the crosshairs of GFI, and she can't get anything done.
Too much of a split there. Didn't have the same target constantly, so a couple of licks, and it looks like Afrelin gets hit once again, as well as Vincible had already been. Tarathiel at full health. Make that down to half, but that is going to be enough for Celestè to take it.
Pistol round going exactly how they would have envisioned it. They lose the early control of the B bomb site, but a flawless retake. No frags lost for Celestè, and they've really got to feel confident about that one, as the bomb will just about be defused. A little bit of money left on the Orange.Sphynx side, so they could look to pick up some pistols here, and I'd expect to see that as Celestè. They've got a fair amount of cash. We could see a couple of rifles coming out here. Early M4 for Vincible.
Oh boy.
And plenty of utility to back it, as well as just looking at that mid take, and Ophelia so isolated on that side, all too easy. But then this retake was really something.
Yeah, it was a nice turnaround to pick things back up for them on the Celestè side. So you can see why maybe the CT coming out first worked out well for them. Of course, on the pistol round, just one. They need to pick up as many rounds as they possibly can to get back into this best of 3 boost coming up. Over at A.
Exactly as expected. Couple of rifles, 3 UMPs, and a fair amount of utility, as well as its pistols across the Orange.Sphynx side. Couple of Deagles, P250s. Alaska picking up the Tech 9, and it's not something we see too commonly, but can GFI get something done with this Deagle?
Oh, jump peek, and instantly tagged up. Down goes Jasminism.
Looking for half an angle towards short there, but really nothing doing. The UMP is very close there. It could be a little bit of an issue against the pistols, as they are going to make their way out of mid, but it's an absolute firing range, as expected. Flawless round. Celestè dispatching of those pistols.
Whew. Yeah, now Orange.Sphynx will be pretty happy with the lost round bonus money that they'll start stacking up there, but not able to even take out anybody on the Celestè side. Has to feel like a disappointment. They will be able to get a buy out of this, though.
You could see it was so well read across that Celestè side. They instantly pincered in towards mid. They were looking to rush out the doors there on Sphinx, but it's instantly shut down. Celestè absolutely everywhere. The rifles chiming in from range, the UMP up close and personal. And this is a little bit of a bonus round now. Having lost nobody, they are going to stick with the 3 UMPs. If they get this round, the cash really starts to build, as we are going to see a long take early on. AK of 3V going to spray down for the first and looking for more, and she'll get it as well.
Man, I don't think Celestè were planning for that long rush. And it looks like they'll be making their way up to A side. You can see a couple of members, including the bomb, coming up Cat.
Oh, the boost is just read
Oh,
perfectly.
dear. This is disgusting.
An absolute demolition job from Orange.Sphynx. That boost, you could see what they were trying to do there, get the player onto the site, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but you talked about a bonus round for Celestè here, and I think they had to be pretty happy they didn't go to buy as much as they could have and stuck onto the UMPs. This means they're going to be flush with a little bit more cash for the next round.
Absolutely. Obviously, priority number 1 there is win the round, but not even able to get any damage done. A flawless round for Orange, and that really is going to be disappointing for Celestè. Bonus round or not, you need to be hitting shots, you need to be finding frags, and the fast long take for Orange.Sphynx is absolutely perfect.
You know, we saw the same kind of thing on the early stages of Vertigo, where there were a couple of rounds picked up by Celestè where they seemed in their element. It seemed like they were going to build off momentum, but then the experience of Orange.Sphynx took over, and you could see it in this round. Attack pod's coming through. Looks like, no, it's just coming up. And the buy for Celestè, interesting one. The P90 seems to be making quite a lot of appearances today.
Not something you'd normally see in CSs. Again, it's going to be the exact same early long take. The late pop flash is perfect, and it should be an easy frag, but Argent somehow playing through the half flash. The trade will be there from Afrelin. That was so nearly a little bit something special from Orange.Sphynx, as they are going to take fast control ashore, and Afrelin needs to be very cautious here. Alaska with the AK at range, getting good damage down, but not quite able to hit the shot, and now she'll find it.
All right, now we're into a 3v3 as they look to try and get the plant down. Keeping the cover. Managing to eliminate one more as Valenceable gets headshot by Alaska. And now it's on to Celestè to try and get this clear through. Smoke's going to be hard for Oriophilia, or rather the Molotov. Got to wait it out.
Yeah, complete lack of utility as well on the CT side. It's just got to be about hitting your shots. Trying to bait for the fan match. Jasmine reads it to perfection. And now 3 versus 1. Oriophilia on the lesser M4A1S. Clearly prefers the weapon, but not the one of choice here. As GFI swings wide and will hit the shot. Drawing things level, keeping 3 players alive. 2 AKs and an upgraded M4A1. This is looking good for Orange.
Yeah, after starting to even things out, the pistol round might have given Celestè a little bit more confidence that they could start taking this here on Dust 2 on Orange.Sphynx's map, but not the case as it turns around.
You're beginning to see why Orange.Sphynx chose this map. Their long takes with utility are perfect. They're executing so efficiently, and they're even catching players from Celestè completely out of position. That pick onto Valenceable in the middle of long, you shouldn't be caught that isolated as a CT player. As this time they're going to head towards B, and it looks like Celestè got a little bit of a read here. 2 players fairly aggressive. It is just the USPSs though, so going to be very difficult to get anything done.
Hanging up by close there, it looks like, and that's one tagged up already as Iceberg gets eliminated through. Orange.Sphynx looks like they were just fainting for this one though, as they do rotate up by lower tunnels into the mid and finding another shot, this time onto Tarathiel.
Yeah, the default pistol's not doing any work at all for this Celestè roster, as Oriophilia trying to catch perhaps a timing on the rotate. GFI reads it to perfection, drops the Molotov, and that's going to allow a free plant on the A-bomb site, and there's no reason for the T side to even look to hunt here beyond getting themselves that kill reward. The USPSs pose absolutely no threat. No armor, no utility, no nothing for Celestè, as they're just going to try and get some exit frags.
Really turning things around from the first round or two for Celestè. Going to be a hard time for them to really try and break in and get anybody down. So looks like they'll just give it up for now.
GFI just going to sit and hold that short angle. So it's an interesting call to give up in this scenario with the USPSs. I can understand the idea behind it. You're not giving that kill reward to the Orange.Sphynx players, but kill reward's not that significant with an AK-47. If you drop an AK with these 3 USPSs, that's still more investment than you're going to give up through those 3 kills. So a little bit perhaps of confusion across that Celestè side. They are going to just stay alive, get themselves enough cash to buy rifles into the next round, and they really need to start biting back here on the CT side of D2.
When we talk about new teams and how things can unravel a little bit if you get put into a situation where you're down not just one full map, the map you picked, but now starting to be down in rounds here on Dust 2, this might be a bit of a breaking point. We have to see if Celestè are able to overcome this right now. They will be able to get a buyout.
Yeah, and you
AUG coming in for Iceberg.
You can really see how established that economy is on Orange.Sphynx. They have so much cash across the board. Of course, losing the first 2 early rounds, but then just being absolutely brutal in their executes. As now, again, they're going to head towards that B-bomb site. Looks like it's going to be a very fast play this time. Iceberg first one up with the AUG. He needs to hit his shots, and he will find the opener.
Oh, that's one down already, but Oriophilia is going to get equalized. Jasmine's falling as well, and it's just absolute chaos over by the B site. Let's see if they can still get a plant down, though, as the rest of Celestè are coming in.
Chucking the bomb across onto the site. Alaska going to be the one trusted with the plant. And so close, but so far. 3v does manage to find the shot. Valenceable does get a good amount of damage down in the process, so there's still opportunity. Utility still available for the CT side. Tarathiel and Afrelin, they've got to make their way in through mid, though. No presence towards the tunnels whatsoever, and time slowly ticking away. Tarathiel's headshot spotted out, and now they're going to try and push in through the window, but utility's so limited, and they're just spotting it out. Alaska is playing this to perfection, getting so much information for her team. Tarathiel peeking the head triangle, takes the dink through the box, and surely this is over now.
Really no chance for them to try and get back into this. Great cover once more for Orange.Sphynx. They will start to pull ahead 2 rounds as the bomb will blow. And it looks like that could have been a chance for Celestè to start to equalize on the round, but really, this aggressive play up through tunnels has been great for Orange.Sphynx. A couple of rounds in a row now.
That B-bomb site, it's so difficult to retake, as anybody who's played D2 will know. CT side, any kind of a retake into that B-bomb site, you need full utility. You need as many players alive as you can possibly get. Celestè not really giving themselves too much of an opportunity. After that early frag onto 3VE goes south, and he instead finds himself taken down. It's just round over realistically. 3v2 retake of B with very limited utility is never going to happen. We are going to see the half buy coming in. Those 2 saved rifles supported by Deagles and a CZ for Oriophilia, but GFI's got that AWP and looking for the pick through middle.
Oh, last time we saw her pick up an op, she got eliminated pretty quickly here, but I think this is starting to be more Orange.Sphynx pulling ahead. They once again will rotate down over to lower tunnels, but there's a lot more CTs closer to mid coming up through catwalk right now. Sphinx is lit. It's going to be G5 down to half health.
And that was really the moment. The Deagle missing the shots, GFI looking completely the wrong way. Tarithiel able to get a double on the B bomb site and actually drop the bomb in the process. Of course, that saved M4A1 has utility behind it, and Afrelin will support, so suddenly the round spins on its head, and it's down to GFI and Jasminism to try and find something.
It's a great turnaround for Celestè right now. Stop the momentum from getting out of hand here. GFI still has that op, still watching as they look to go up through the edge of close here. Trying to pick that bomb up. They need to grab it, but you can see Celestè are watching and waiting if anyone peeks outside of there. I think they realize this is going to be a lost cause.
54 seconds left on the clock. They're going to try and get some damage here. What little utility they have being thrown, but on top, Oriophilia.
Just styling on him at this point. Even picks up the AWP, and yeah, a little high five there for the Celestè members as they pick up a third round.
I thought that one was going to go wrong after the early Deagle shots are missed, and GFI hits a really nice flick to catch that top mid CT aggression, but that B bomb site hold was just all too easy. Tarithiel completely no blind, no Molotov to force her off her angle. She just sits there and guns them down as they try and push out in towards that B bomb site. So let's get a third round on the board, and this is where that bank starts to show for Orange.Sphynx. They lost the round, but they've still got a very strong full buy here. Oriophilia does have the AWP, however, as we are going to see.
The rush towards long.
The slow long take coming in this time. Argent playing it a little bit more cautiously, as it is a heavy A stack coming in from Celestè. A little bit of a read, perhaps. Valincible trying to play around the edge of that smoke in Alaska.
Not looking at Valincible right now. Through the smoke. So close. They don't realize how close right now. Waiting for it to clear.
If they don't clear Valincible here.
There we go. Oof. That wraparound on the side, they're starting to find some purchase here. It's going to be Iceberg, then Valincible taken down, looking for Tarithiel, but can't quite find it. And meanwhile, Orange.Sphynx have run out of everybody, but Argent here pick up on the bomb, and that will be it. Equalized on rounds for Celestè.
Oriophilia getting that frag straight through the smoke to finish things off and drop things level at 4 apiece. And again, just a little bit of a misread from Orange.Sphynx. You could see Celestè, they knew that that was going to be an A hit. They had so much presence on their CT side towards the A bomb site, and they were perfectly set up. Valincible gets that first frag around the edge of the smoke, backs off and somehow gets a second. No trade coming through. Orange.Sphynx a little bit unfortunate perhaps that they've run out of ammo as they're trying to take down Tarithiel, but Celestè will take every round they can get at this point. 4 apiece. The full investment coming in. Orange.Sphynx, they've ran out of cash now. They are going to go for this fast long take. Oriophilia going to challenge with the AWP.
Yeah, they do split off a little bit, though. Once again, you can even see one of them going back towards the spawn point for just a second. And Tarithiel getting lit right away. Oh, it looks like a decent spot, but it looked like Jasminism going down a little bit too fast. Oriophilia turning around with the op in her own hands. Molotov's coming through. Got to back away. Alaska taken down. 60 HP.
4 on 4 now, and again, Orange.Sphynx, they really are looking a little bit one-dimensional in this round. They've fully committed to the A presence, and you can see Iceberg's allowed to rotate because of that, and could even catch a little bit of a timing in towards middle. He's got the presence. Oriophilia coming up to support, and this is a little bit of a misread coming in from Celestè. They've left the site a little bit vulnerable. Valincible able to get one. The trade is there from GFI, and now Oriophilia going to have to pull off some magic with that AWP again. The pop flash is perfect.
Afrelin, though! Beautiful double to clear that away, and all of a sudden it's just down to GFI, and not anymore. Round goes to Celestè, and they managed to stack 3 in a row.
And no matter how good that looked from Afrelin, it has got to be put to Oriophilia. That pop flash was inch perfect. She blinds both of the players for Orange.Sphynx while keeping her teammate perfectly visible. Easy frags to find, and securing the round. Celestè again going to be able to take the lead. And that round was quite something. It looked like Orange.Sphynx had it in the bag, but just about anchoring it down Celestè.
Beautiful play, and you can see that they've definitely been able to level up to the skill of their opponents here. Fan out from Celestè, looking for B and A respectively, and it looks like the same thing's going to happen. Default from Orange.Sphynx as they take 2 up through upper tunnels, and the rest always on A long. Oh, and that's going to be a start. Iceberg taken out. Jasminism is able to stay alive through the fire.
A little bit too aggressive there from Celestè, as it will be an M4 recovered, and now there's 2 rifles and an SMG on this T side. There is potential. Jasminism might look to drop that M4, over to one of the teammates with armor, trying to avoid that aim punch. And Ophelia going to have to go big with the AWP. Gets the early frag towards long, starts to swing out towards Carl, but the rifle is still recoverable. So 4 versus 4 now, and the 4A1 trying to spam through the smoke, finds damage, but can't quite find the shot. Tarithiel shaking as she moves away. And allows Vincible to get aggressive on the angle, finds herself the first, looking for more. Sphinx, though, going to find the double dink through 3v. And now 3v3, this is really starting to fall apart as Tarithiel tries to stabilize the ship.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when 3v's one of the ones that are alive, only has the CZ, whereas you can see the full rifles left alone for the likes of Celeste. Ophelia still with that AWP that picked up earlier on from GFI.
She's going to get aggressive with it. CZ in hand, just jiggle peeking the angle, and that should not be allowed to happen. GFI had an AK-47 and just been out-dueled. Ophelia on the CZ-75, relying on the erratic spray pattern, jiggling left and right, makes it happen. And this is looking good for Celeste. I was worried they were going to get swept away after those 4 rounds in a row for Orange.Sphynx, but they're starting to stabilize, and we will see the buy coming in, but cash is very, very slim pickings across Orange.Sphynx. And look at Celeste. Afrelin, 13.7k. That maxes out at 16. She's going to have to start dropping across to her teammates soon, as the full buy is very, very strong indeed for the CT side.
Man, Celeste have to be feeling very happy how the last couple of rounds have gone, and it really all started on a turnaround. Back when they only had 2 picked up, they've been able to stack it consistently since then. Ophelia on the ops, scoped up, just outside on scaffolding.
Couple of fake nades thrown towards the A bomb site as well. Still the presence towards B as the Molotov. Iceberg's actually going to get a little bit aggressive around the edge of that smoke. The damage is there. GFI will find the opening pick in towards the window.
Spray down.
Oh, Iceberg.
1, looking for 2. Alaska. Oh my goodness. Turned away at the wrong moment, and Orange.Sphynx will manage to turn around and get a full wipe and bomb plant.
How did that happen? Just Iceberg, you could see that happen sometimes. She thought she had that kill absolutely down. She starts to switch to the second player, but GFI still alive and still causing trouble on that B bomb site as Orange.Sphynx just waltz their way through, onto that B bomb site. And that just looked a little bit too easy. Need to see a little bit more resistance than that from Celeste. And they have been able to do that sort of play. They've managed to find the resistance, but that round just going a little bit south. AWP again onto Ophelia, full buy for the teammates. FAMAS the only real compromise onto Afrelin. As AK's across the board in the early mid peak from the AWP.
Yeah, much needed last round for Orange.Sphynx, looking to try and pull this one even with the 6-6 here. Afrelin and Vincible around the side. You can see the rest rushing up A short. And it looks like Orange.Sphynx caught Celeste off guard here, and they will be able to get the plant down.
4 versus 2 now. The AWP is not good at all in this sort of a retake scenario. Iceberg and Ophelia are already going to be thinking about the save, but the drop bomb almost gifts a frag to the CT side. A little bit unfortunate there. Second smoke again, missing the spot from Orange.Sphynx. Perhaps a little bit of nerves trying to secure the swift 2-0 here as the Molotov will drop in towards CT. And Celeste, they've got to be thinking about the eco here. Nothing more they can realistically find in this round. And I mean, that one really fell apart. You could see what they were trying to do with the long play. They had 2 players playing anti-flash. The flash goes over the top and they can hit the shots as Ophelia going to get a little bit aggressive. Finds the first on the quick scope, but the trade is there. And it's all down to Iceberg, 1 versus 3.
Oh, like that 1v2 right now, but down to 1 health. If she takes 1 shot, it is all but over. And that is going to be 6-6 here. Picked up. It's going to be a good round for Orange.Sphynx.
Drawing things level. And yeah, as I said, Celeste, they just weren't quite on the timing with that pop flash towards long. GFI not blinded at all, gets an easy double spray down. Those players swinging right into the crosshair. And that's the sort of play you have to be getting right as Celeste. They are a mixed roster. They do have a core of FF Gaming. You should be hitting those pop flashes. That is all too simple stuff as they will be forced down onto the pistols. Vincible on the Deagle. P250s, 5.7s. Not a strong buy at all for Celeste, and they're just going to look to do damage against the rifles as Orange.Sphynx going to make their way towards the B-bomb site early on.
Yeah, 3 stack on upper tunnels, the rest kind of keeping intervals covered here. Now the question is, do they actually decide to push for B, or do they then rotate through lower tunnels and go over to the A side? But it's just going to be looking to mow down those pistol players. Afrelin and Tarithiel already finished off, and yeah, now this is a pretty easy take on B site.
Alaska just going to mop up the remaining frags with that AK-47, and it's all down to Vincible. Nothing to find a swift headshot from Alaska, and that decision to hit B was made all too easy. The aggression from Celeste not managing to find anything at all, and that has been an issue, was an issue on Vertigo, and remains to be. When they upgrade those pistols, they're not finding damage with them.
Yeah, but this is a lot more consistent momentum on both teams, I think, than what we saw in Vertigo, where they were just rounds traded back and forth constantly. This time around, we are starting to see teams really build up to it a little bit more. You saw that, of course, the force out onto the eco for Celeste in that last round, and now they'll be able to get a buy off. But smiles on the faces of the Orange.Sphynx players.
Yeah, but Celeste are calling the timeout. There has been those strings of rounds that are much more common in CS than what we saw on Vertigo, but Orange.Sphynx coming out on top so far, and they are managing to just pull off the situations that arguably shouldn't favor them whatsoever. Those 4v5s, those 3v5s, they're finding the frags and they're finding the entries, and it's a very contrasting story on Celeste. They're not getting anything done in those situations.
I think it's just the level of experience and also the standouts and the likes of the IGLs. And, you know, you have a team that's got GFI on it, and you're going to be able to not just get a lot of those solid plays, even in a deficit situation, but you're going to be able to do it because you just have a little bit more experience to work with. And now, once again, we see this 3-2 split that Orange.Sphynx have pretty much consistently made their own. See if they can get some picks through mid, and then they will be able to turn their attention here. But the bomb's hanging back for now.
And a nice smoke onto the Xbox allows 3v to get nice and aggressive in towards mid. They are just going to explode out that middle area, trying to catch Iceberg off guard. The unscoped Dorgan accuracy almost does him in, and finally Alaska will find the shot. Sphinx a little bit low through 3ve, but they're just destroying this B bomb site hold once again. And Celeste, there's nothing they can do here. 3 versus 5. GFI sets herself up to cut out any kind of a rotate through CT boost. Over the top of the smoke, Invincible will be able to get one. But 4 versus 3, again, this B bomb site retake, all but impossible.
Yeah, going to be hard, especially with the angles covered by GFI, finding one, peek over the box, and still not finding purchase there. Tarathiel going down, Invincible will be the last one standing on the Celeste side, but there is no time to really attempt to defuse. Even if you do manage to mow him down, you manage to find Jasminism. But I think that's going to be it. At this point, probably going for the save.
Just trying to keep that rifle alive. Doing good damage all the same to the Orange.Sphynx side, but the problem for Celeste at this point is damage isn't significant, as Alaska will finally find the shot. You can see how much cash that Orange.Sphynx side have. They don't care if they lose 2-3 rifles. It's much more important for them to drop the rifles on the Celeste side, and they do just that. And that puts Celeste on an awkward half buy as we go into the last round of the half. Oriafila dropping down onto the Scout, a P90 for Invincible, UMPs, and a Deagle as the pause will come in.
Man, Celeste, they always have an interesting set of buys when they decide to go for these forces. They just have like an absolute like bargain basket.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody pick the P90 up as much as Invincible has on these half-buy situations. The coach trying to offer some words of wisdom to Celeste to try and get that one more round. Give themselves as much of an opportunity as they can going on to the CT side. Arguably the more complicated side for these mixed rosters. It's the side where you need that teamwork, that communication that Orange.Sphynx bring to the table.
See if they can level up to the occasion, try to force that map 3 on Inferno. But Orange.Sphynx, you know, every time we pan over to this team, it's either smiles or stone faces. This is not a team that really shows any sign of dismay when they are down, and they've not been down too much here on Dust 2, here on their own map pick, 8-6 as we get into the last round of the half.
Celeste using a little bit of utility towards middle early on as Oriophilia trying to peek top mid with that scout, but almost instantly has to fall back off the angle, has no information as to if GFI has that AWP in her hands once again. And they are going to get aggressive towards B early on. This is a nice read from the CT side, and GFI needs to call this, needs to make her teammates aware. The smoke to Xbox will cover them as they start to make their way in towards short. Oriophilia finding the early tag with the scout. Iceberg gets the headshot, but the trades are there.
And this is going to favor, I was about to say Celeste, but that just turned things on its head right now with that headshot from 3v3 situation now as the plant will come down onto A.
Invincible trying to make the fast play up a short, but 3v has it absolutely red. All too easy for Orange.Sphynx. Again, the individual talent showing up as Iceberg left 1 versus 3. We've seen her in this situation a couple of times. This would be something truly special. A little bit of utility to work with and a recovered AK-47.
Not thinking about the save, of course, last round. That's all you really need to worry about, but should have been worrying about the left side on that peak, and that will be it. Orange.Sphynx will take the half.
9-6. Orange.Sphynx putting up a strong showing on the T side of D2. And of course, they're moving across to the CT side, which is where these organized rosters can really flourish and give themselves an opportunity to take this in quick fashion, 2-0, get themselves up for tomorrow's games, get some practice in nice and early.
Yeah, have to be feeling pretty good if you can knock that one out of the park. Don't have to go to Inferno, but you can see why they picked this map. It is, of course, as you've mentioned, the oldest one in the pool by a wide margin, and they're just so comfortable on it.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned when I saw the pick. I thought it was potentially going to be troublesome walking into Celeste, but it looks good so far. I will be interested to see what the Celeste side look to bring on their T side. I think that does have the potential to start to put a little bit of a thorn in the side of Orange.Sphynx, but so far so good for the more established and favored roster.
Yeah, and I wonder if they make use of the same areas as well, because so far what we've seen Orange.Sphynx do is they really favor splitting off at upper tunnels and seeing if they can get an angle over by mid or if they have to rush through over to the B site. We'll take a look at some of the replays from this last time around. There were some real sweet shots.
And 3v, this is the double kill in towards short, just owning that area of the map. It's all too easy for her to find those shots, as we will get into the pistol round. Jasminism picking up the smoke and defuse kit. Again, no utility for the Celeste side, just looking to frag it out in towards the B-bomb site, as it is going to be a fast rush.
Yeah, they're just training through. Unfortunately, they lose one already. And they're going to lose just about everybody, and that was Orange.Sphynx just lining them up, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel.
A one-tap from Argent to start things up, and that was a beautiful shot. And then from there, it's all too easy. It's an absolute shooting gallery for the Orange.Sphynx side on the CT side. 3v looking a little bit happy about that one in the server, as they will get a strong buy. And, of course, Celeste, they didn't get the bomb down. They've not got that extra cash. They're going to be looking down the barrel of a very full eco here.
Oh, boy. Well, might just... we've seen them at least one more time be able to come up with the pistol round equivalent over the likes of Orange.Sphynx. But I think this is a tough ask, and they will once again just rush through upper tunnels. Oh boy, no, they're going to split off on the lower. Okay, I got debated myself. I got to get ahead of myself sometimes.
3v holding it in towards mid. The UMP is an effective weapon at medium range. I'm surprised not to see an MP9 playing up close and personal in towards mid, as Celeste are going to take that area of map control, but now this is where the UMP really does its best work. Tapping away as well. The MP9 of GFI gets a triple.
My word. 3K there coming out at GFI, and 3V's even going to add one into the mix. And Iceberg once again. We see this so many times. Iceberg all alone.
1 versus 5 with nothing but a Glock. Like, this is going to be absolutely impossible. You can see Argent with the AUG holding the long range angle, just hides the head behind those boxes. It's lined up nicely by Iceberg, trying to use the spray burst fire of the Glock. At that kind of range is not a good idea. Argent no longer interested in taking the fight, just waiting for the SMGs. Of course, the greater kill reward, a very intelligent play there, as you can see. Jasminism on the MP5 going to start to push in, and Iceberg is being flanked from all sides here.
Yeah, this one's all over but the crying, it would seem. Oof, hold on, through it, and there we go. That's going to be the finisher. So 11-6 now as Orange.Sphynx really start to pull ahead. We saw so many close rounds on Vertigo. There have been close ones here too, but the momentum mounting for Orange.Sphynx on their map pick.
And that quad kill for GFI has given us so much cash. The kill reward on the MP9 is very significant indeed, currently sitting at around the 6K mark. So very much a bonus round coming in for the CT side, similar to what we saw from Celeste. And you've got to imagine if Orange.Sphynx managed to convert this bonus round, it's not going to be a very easy road home for Celeste whatsoever.
I would be ashamed to see them go down 0-2. All the same, we did talk about Orange.Sphynx definitely looking like the favorite team coming into today, but that Vertigo map certainly had us pausing for a little bit because Celeste absolutely gave them hell.
Fast pot flash for Afrelin. They have managed to take short control here, Celeste. They have a little bit of the map to work with. You can see GFI on the MP9 wants to get up close and personal, and that smoke will allow exactly that to happen. Afrelin actually looking to play. There's half a gap in the edge of that, and this could be absolutely huge. GFI sets herself up. Kenny S angle normally used by the AWP, but this time an MP9.
There's Afrelin.
Secondary smoke dropped, and it does buy GFI a little bit more time. The position's known now, though, so this could get a little bit awkward. Afrelin not pre-aiming it, though. This is looking, or whoever sees it first, it's an absolute waiting game for the time being.
I would not want to be on the opposite side of the GFI barrel. And the peek around the side. It looks like it is going to be Oriophilia and Tarathiel falling first. Afrelin falling as well. And Orange.Sphynx, they got the numbers advantage once more.
Iceberg spraying down the CT player, actually manages to take out her own teammate. So 3 versus 2 for Celeste, and that's a little bit unfortunate because it really does make this round awkward. 3 rifles still up and kicking for the Orange.Sphynx side. They don't know Valenciable's got so aggressive into CT though. Oh, Argent clears the angle and the timing is perfect. The bomb's actually on the back of Valenciable and 3v will clean it up. 12-6, the bonus round goes the way of Orange.Sphynx, and that just looks a little bit too easy.
Oh boy, 4 to go. I think that's what Orange.Sphynx have in their minds right now, is they'll be able to buy as much as they want here once more, and it's going to be Celeste stuck on a pistol round.
And that is exactly what they wouldn't have wanted here. They're going to be back down on the Deagles. The P250s are picking up some utility. Oriophilia and Tarathiel with double pot flashes each, just to try and enable any kind of a beneficial peak for these pistols. They are going to go fast towards that long control. You can see the pushes coming in. Argent and Alaska look to hold this down. Pot flash doesn't work at all.
Oh, you can see the desperation mounting on Celeste's side. They just tried to go for the surprise factor, rushing on the angle they hadn't gone before, and unfortunately, it's sniffed out immediately by Orange.Sphynx, and now it's just down to Oriophilia.
And that is just too easy again. The pot flashes did not work. They actually blinded their own teammates more than they blinded Orange.Sphynx, and Ophelia left 1 versus 5. A Deagle, no rifles even vaguely recoverable. Going to have to try and do what she can. Spots out the first player, does hit a nice 1 Deag finally onto Alaska, but the trade is there. Jasminism makes it 13, and Orange.Sphynx just 3 rounds away from taking this series.
And you can see on the Celeste side, less communication there. Feeling the pain, feeling the pressure mounting. Down on their first map, the map they chose, weren't able to put away on Vertigo, and now on the edge of getting beaten here in this best of 3. But they do have the timeout.
Interestingly, they've timed out. You can see the coach just trying to offer some words in the background, trying to give them something, perhaps any insight, any kind of misplay from that Orange.Sphynx side, but they are looking so good on D2. Not a map we saw them go to much in any of their past events, but they are making it look so easy here today. Clearly very, very well practiced on that Dust 2 play.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to surprise Celeste as well in this one. And yeah, you know, I liked what I saw out of Celeste on their CT side, especially in the very beginning. They definitely looked like they were going to mount some momentum before it turned back around in the Orange.Sphynx favor, but they certainly look a lot less comfortable on T. And it's just been a lot of rushes. You've seen this happen on outside tunnels. You've seen this happen on A long. And I wonder what they do this time around.
Ophelia spotting a couple of players making their way across mid, not opting for a speculative shot. Normally you'll see players spamming that one as soon as they see a player come across, try and hit the flick up on through those double doors, but instead opting to remain passive, still holding down middle as it is a little bit of an execute in towards short. They've got long presence, Celeste, but they're not looking to push the issue too much anywhere just yet. Invincible spamming through the smoke a while, not going to be finding anything.
I like this. They've slowed it down a little bit. Every other round up until this point, it's been very fast, been lightning quick, and you can see Celeste falling early on. But this time around, they've opted to slow things down, trying to wait for Orange.Sphynx to come to them. Let the timer tick.
Alaska has set herself up with a beautiful little angle there. It's a very uncommon angle, not checked that often at all. Jasminism playing for the flashbang as well. This could be so good for Orange.Sphynx. They have that long setup, but Celeste currently starting to make the execute towards short. And you can see GFI actually in towards CT isn't going to be of much help here if they do choose to pop into that A bomb site. And we will wait with bated breath to see what's going to happen here. GFI can cover the long cross from CT. That allows Jasminism to peek up in towards short, and this utility is going to be spotted out. The Molotov buys so much time as well for that CT side.
Oh, yes, it does. Smoke used just to get that down, and here comes the rush from Celeste, and Alaska's going down. Jasminism, excuse me, Alaska falling afterwards, and Afrolin managing to stay alive through all of it, but Invincible is not so lucky, and here's the rush onto A. They're going to get the bomb plant down.
4 versus 2, and this should not have ended like that. You have to wonder, Jasminism, the AUG would have been so good in that scenario, but there's tags to work with, but this round is all but done for Orange.Sphynx. There's no real utility left. Argent going to be tagged down to 14 HP in towards CT. The AWP catching her through the side of the box, and this round is done. Going to try and keep their hands on a couple of rifles. That will allow Orange.Sphynx to get a very full buy into the next one.
Yeah, good things come to those who wait. Celeste finding that out this time around, managing to finally pick up a round in their favor. Will be able to get some cash out, and they have also managed to save 4 of their 5 rifles. And that was an absolutely needed round for Celeste.
They had to win that round, and not only win it, they had to win it in some style. They had to keep players alive. They had to keep that cash in their pocket, keep those rifles up. It was not looking good at all for Celeste, but they've given themselves a little bit of a lifeline here. Now they've just got to make it happen.
Will the Indonesian side be able to fire back and continue to build on that one round, or will it turn around in favor of Orange.Sphynx to take the 2-0? I would love to see Inferno go into that third map, but Celeste definitely need to pick up the pace here as we go into another round.
Ophelia still with the AWP on her back. Will again be peeking down middle. Will she opt to take the shot this time as they jump across? Oh,
little late.
The flick just a split second too late. It is the solo play towards B. Argent left entrusted with that bomb site as it's going to be a far short play coming in from Orange.Sphynx, going for the boost in towards lower tunnels. 3v actually covering the lower area. This is a really interesting CT play from Orange. They've got so much map control to work with. The smokes will give away the play somewhat, but Tarithiel's watching towards lower.
Yeah. Oh, Alaska. Not keeping an eye on Alaska as the peek around, and Tarithiel finds out a face full of bullets. That's a rough start here for Celeste. Down in a 4v5 as they try to execute onto A, bringing the bomb up.
GFI misses the shot with the AWP, and that will allow them to make their presence in towards A, and Invincible managing to get 1 towards B before she traded out. So 4 versus 3 now. The bomb should go down. It's going to be a retake for the CT side, and they are quite limited in their utility here. Smokes and flashes and Molly still available for Celeste. They're going to lock the CTs out a while longer, and as that bomb ticks down, the time pressure really starts to hit this CT side of Orange.Sphynx.
Yeah, they're just huddled down for now. Orange.Sphynx, they're trying to take as much time, or they're trying to rush in, but they need to take a little bit more time before they actually can make this happen as they move up around a short and managing to have another trade here, 2v3. Oh boy, and that looks like it is going the way of Orange.Sphynx.
A really nice shot there from Oriophilia, the second frag through the door, but not quite able to finish things off. Orange.Sphynx will get themselves a 14th, just 2 rounds away from taking this series 2-0. It looked like Celestè were starting to make their way back into it, but instantly Orange.Sphynx biting back with a round of their own. And you can see the cash. They do have enough cash for one more full investment here, Celestè. But after that, it's not going to be good at all.
Yeah, I hate to see it for Celestè right now. They looked like they were in a good shape to finally start stacking up a couple of rounds, but just like that, the retake was great from the CT side. And now we are seeing why Orange.Sphynx are looking like the favored team here.
ZOWIE again getting the AWP in her hands, making her way in towards A long early on, trying to counter the aggression we saw from Celestè. This time, the T side opting for a little bit more presence in towards B. You can see Argent has been left alone towards that B bomb site by Orange.Sphynx, and it could be an area that Celestè look to isolate, but with so little movement towards B, they really have no idea how Orange.Sphynx are playing that bomb site, what their setup is. So they've got to start to try and take some risks. 3v given away by the Shadow. We'll just back off in towards the B bomb site. I think that shoulder peak just spotted out Valenceable. And this is where GFI's AWP could come up huge, holding from that car in towards mid.
Yeah, but Oriaphilia's got an AWP as well. Actually going to just be checking through lower tunnels. Keeping control of mid right now, Celestè, not committing fully to either site. Taking their time. This is how they've had success on this map. When it's come, it's been patient.
A minute left on the clock. That smoke buys a little bit more time for the CT side, and they have rotated 3v in towards those doors. That's the cover for mid. GFI could be smoked off without too many issues for Celestè here if they choose to execute, and that is the smoke that's currently being lined up. Oriophilia dropping that mid B smoke. That will make it a 2 versus 5 for 3v and Argent on this B bomb site. The Molotov buys a little bit of time for the CT side, but they need support and they need it now.
They've made their decision going into tunnels right now. There's where the bomb's at. Trying to go for the B take. It's going to be difficult. There's a split off. That's going to help. 3V's already out of there, so it's going to be a rough defense, and Argent has no idea what hit her. This will be the plant out for Celestè. Let's see what the reaction from Orange.Sphynx. Can Jasminism in Alaska manage to get anybody down?
2v5, they are just going to be looking for damage in this scenario, and Celestè will be looking to keep all 5 rifles up as Tarithiel rips the head off of Alaska, and that was quite some entry into that B-bomb site.
Yeah, you can see. Jasminism pulls a 180 as soon as she realizes that happened. I think I'll rather save my rifle. Thank you very much.
Keep that rifle up, and they might have a decent enough half-buy coming in Orange.Sphynx here. 8-14, Celestè, they're not going to go down quietly, and I mean, Valenceable's take onto that B-bomb site was absolutely ridiculous. 2-tap to the face, takes down 3v, and then jumping through the window, an easy headshot for the second. Argent had her absolutely lined up, but the reaction time's just not there for the CT player.
It's a good collapse from Celestè, and again, a much-needed round for the Indonesians.
8-14. It's still a hell of a comeback, and of course Orange.Sphynx will know one more round and they've secured the OT at least, and then it really just becomes a matter of waiting for the mistake to come in, as Oriophilia with that AWP still in, full buy across the T side. It's not going to be quite the same story for Orange.Sphynx. The saved rifle will be supported by pistols. Deagle, CZ, Alaska yet to buy, not a lot of cash left in the bank at all as Argent picks up the 5-7, and there's a good amount of utility as well for Orange.Sphynx on Jasminism, so something could still come out of this.
Certainly possible, but Jasmine was the only one that has it. That's the rough start here for Orange.Sphynx. So, we'll see where the execute comes to be. It looks like it's a good split off for Celestè right now, trying to get control of mid.
Alaska looking for that same short aggression we saw a couple of rounds ago, this time with the USPS rather than the M4, as Orange.Sphynx have fairly heavily stacked mid, perhaps a little bit of a read on Celeste's intentions as 3v gets the early peek. That's to bait GFI in here.
A little bit of pre-fire, doesn't manage to find the shot they're looking for, hiding behind Xbox. And a peek up, oh, down goes Alaska, and 3v Tarithiel. Had absolute eyes on them here, but Valenceable's going to fall as well, and Tarithiel down to half health. This is not going to be as easy as it looked like it was going to be for Celestè for a moment ago. Jasminism peeking in, finding Tarithiel down to a 2v2 situation.
And that was a must-find frag, but Iceberg instantly gunning her down. It's all down to Argent, 1 versus 2. There are rifles recoverable in towards this middle area, and that will be where Argent instantly heads. Going to grab an AK-47 and make her way in towards long now, but without the armor, the aim punch is going to be a significant issue, and you can see Iceberg instantly moving to cover that long position, so going to have to be an instant headshot from Argent, and she won't find it. Iceberg secures it. 9-14 the scoreline. It will be the full buy for Orange.Sphynx, but this is starting to get a little bit closer than perhaps they would like.
Celestè starting to claw their way back into the second round on Dust 2. If they can force this at least into an OT situation, there'll be confidence there that they can take it out. Going to Inferno, you don't want to go down 0-2 in the first day of the tournament, in the first map of the tournament. And now we see another P90 coming in, but this time it's on the Orange.Sphynx side.
Not something you see every day of the week, to say the least. It's a fairly decent half buy as Argent gets the tag through the door. Ophelia finally risking the shot and making it work as well. That's good damage to find early on. Makes that B-bomb site a little bit more vulnerable, and you can see instantly 3v not as willing to peek middle. Knows that the support might be needed towards that B-bomb site.
All right, Celestè taking their time once again. Confidence in their buy, confidence in their play. That's what you need here up against the experienced team of Orange.Sphynx.
Oh, Turretfield almost gets the headshot peak. Not quite able to find it, however, as again, it looks like Celestè, they want to take that mid control. They have the lone player towards B. He's actually just going to back off now. The bomb's still left outside upper B. Celestè not committing to anything just yet. These slower rounds have been working out quite positively for them. Mixed results with the fast ones, so clearly know what they want to try and pull off here. Argent playing in towards the pit. Oh, Alaska needs to hit this shot. The spray is good. The P90 getting the first frag at range. Reloads, gets those 50 spray and pray bullets back in the chamber. As Ophelia there with the AWP going to find it very difficult to get anything done. 3v gets a second, and the round is falling apart for Celestè.
Not looking good. Orange.Sphynx on the cusp of forcing overtime here. At the very least. Still 3 rifles in the hands of Celestè. What can they do with them?
Ophelia wants nothing to do with that P90 and towards long. Instead, they're going to make their way towards the B-bomb site. Argent is tagged up through the door here, but there's a fully healthed 3v with the M4A1 as this push starts to come in, and there's no utility there. The double spray down is inch perfect. 3v secured it surely. Ophelia left 1v5, has to try and keep this AWP alive. Will miss the first shot as well. The damage is getting done. Finally gets one through, but on 21 HP, has to try and hightail it out.
Just rotating around here. Heading over into upper tunnels and seeing if she can keep her back covered and not go down. Seconds ticking away, and that's going to be it. So Orange.Sphynx with a 15th round. Oh no! Couldn't get the save out. Disaster striking Celestè.
And dying as your T side after time runs out. No cash. So they are going to be really struggling into this round. The timeout is indeed from Celestè as Orange.Sphynx get their hands on map and match point here, looking for that swift 2-0 on Dust 2.
You can just see it in the expressions on the faces of Celestè right now. They know that their backs are against the wall. We haven't seen a timeout from Orange.Sphynx here on Dust 2. They are confident. They are calm, cool, collected. But this is going to be absolutely Herculean effort for Celestè to come back into this.
Needing 6 rounds on the trot to give themselves a chance here on Dust 2 to even force the OT. And the problem for Celestè is they haven't been able to string any T-sided rounds together. We've seen isolated wins here and there, but Orange.Sphynx have consistently come back on the CT side. They've instantly found a counter for everything that Celestè could offer. So it's going to need to be a truly special effort from the T side here if they want a chance on Dust 2.
Well, let's take a look at the buys as they come out. It looks like it's pretty decent. They do manage to get nearly full AKs, and they do, as Afrelin buys one a few seconds later. And decent utility as well.
Not too shabby at all. It's a little bit unfortunate that Ophelia couldn't have the AWP this round. It has been very effective for the Celestè side, consistently finding damage and frags as Invincible just lobbing a little bit of utility in towards B. Celestè fairly heavily posturing towards that B-bomb site early on as now Afrelin, Iceberg and Turretfield start to make their presence known in towards mid. The pop flash for GFI not quite going to work, but
sprayed through the smoke, and Afrelin managing to find GFI, and 3v going down as well, so this is a chance for Celestè to come through. 5v2.
The only problem they're having is they've left the bomb in B upper. A little bit lucky there, actually. If Orange.Sphynx had pushed B upper that fast, they could have found the bomb.
Yeah, you know when you leave your house and you realize you forgot your keys? Yeah.
Exactly that. Invincible just trying to cover the back of the bomb planter as it will be. Iceberg getting the bomb down on that B bomb site. So Jasminism and Alaska, there's not a lot of cash left for this Orange.Sphynx side. Try and keep 2 rifles alive. Try and take down a couple of Celestè players on the late hunt, but
that's fine. You've forced overtime at the very least. You need only 1 round. It's okay if Celestè stack up 1 or 2 here and there. They've been able to consistently find the answer.
Exactly. They know they've got 5 more attempts after this to find 1 round, and that is looking very, very likely indeed, as Alaska and Jasminism aren't going to be hunted down too relentlessly. Of course, Celestè know they haven't got a lot of cash in the bank, even with this round win. They want to try and be able to buy full utility, give themselves an opportunity on the execute. Invincible will walk into the crosshair.
Oh my goodness! That was dirty from Alaska, looking for 3, almost 4! Man! And all of a sudden, what was a triumph for Celeste there, it's turned into a situation where they have to buy a bit more.
And they're going to have to reinvest on 3 players here, and this is the problem for Celeste. They try to hunt them down, but Alaska spraying around finds 3 beautiful headshots, and although the buy isn't going to be that great for Orange.Sphynx, they only need to find 1 or 2 frags to keep the economy very much in check. If Celeste had kept 5 alive here, they go into this round feeling a lot more confident than they will do. It's going to be CZ's, Deagles, the M4 lonely on Jasminism once again. We saw her doing good work with the 4A1 towards that B-bomb site. Last time they had this kind of a half buy. Can she do the same again? This time going to be making her way in towards short.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, it looks like Celeste, they're going to be rushing up A long at the moment.
Taking a lot of map control early on. Understandable when you've got the firepower advantage. Don't want to get too aggressive, however. Don't want to walk into the crossfires as GFI, top of the smoke. Jarithia,
oh, wow. That was very close, but Celeste managed to finish off GFI in 3v. And there's a turnaround onto Tarathiel, but Argent's going to drop as well. And now onto A site they go. Celeste will be able to get the plant down, looking for Alaska, who is too quick for Oreophilia.
And again, this is damage here. Jasminism getting another, and now it's
2v2.
a 2 versus 2.
And they haven't got the plant yet. All of a sudden, things are turning really hectic for Celeste. They need this round to stay alive. It is all over with an Orange.Sphynx win.
2 versus 2, and you can see Jasminism making her way out towards long, and Alaska is just waiting for this. I think that could be a little bit of a misplay. Jasminism, the only player with the defuse kit for the bomb, saved it from the previous round, of course, and how important could that saved M4 be? The Molotov goes onto site. That'll force Iceberg off the angle, in towards the ramp now. Alaska has to be the instigator here. Iceberg, not able to find the shot, and it's all onto Afrelin.
That's gonna be it. Orange.Sphynx will be able to take not just the map, but the best of 3, putting it away in style.
The defuse kit is absolutely crucial there. Jasminism, if she hadn't saved the rifle, saved the defuse kit, Orange.Sphynx don't win that, but indeed they do. 16-10, they take the second map. A swift 2-0 for the favoured roster as they make it look all too easy on Dust 2. Not quite the resistance we expected from Celeste on that second map, and Orange.Sphynx going to be glad that they've got that one out of the way. A 2-0 nice and early on in the day, can go home, get some practice in and ready for tomorrow's matches.
Big smiles on the faces of Orange.Sphynx, the Malaysian representatives showing up and showing why they look like a favorite team for Celeste. Honestly, after that Vertigo map, I thought things were going to be pretty close here, but Dust 2 is where Orange.Sphynx flexed their muscles and where they proved that they were the better team on the day.
Yeah, Celeste looked really promising on Vertigo. They found a lot of rounds. They found a lot of CT rounds as well, which I wouldn't have expected at all. But then their T side just misfired in places. Orange.Sphynx showed perhaps how they are that established roster, how they have that teamwork, that capability to gel together so efficiently. And it was that difference. It was the utility usage. It was the CTs refragging so consistently that just won them the maps and won them the matchup.
Yeah, great individual stand-up performances, especially in the likes of GFI, but I think you can give an honorable mention to just about everybody on that team. Really good stuff from Orange.Sphynx, and I cannot wait to see more from this squad.
They look like a really promising roster. I think they have potential to go really, really deep in this tournament.
Yeah, they do. Oh, man, taking the 2-0, I really do feel like it doesn't speak to how close that Vertigo match was, but it's very hard to call where Vertigo is going to go. That was, of course, the pick out from their opposition, and you know, I feel like that's still a very bannable map for other teams looking to go up against Celeste.
I think whoever Celeste face tomorrow, they're going to be looking to ban that one 100%. They looked really, really promising on Vertigo, and I think if they can transfer some of that form across to the similar maps like Nuke, perhaps even Overpass, there is potential for them to get some wins and start to make a bit of a run of their own.
Yeah, now if you're Celeste right now, what do you take away from that loss and look forward to going towards tomorrow?
I think you've really got to work on your T side of Vertigo. I think their CT side of Vertigo was excellent. Their T side just didn't quite fire in the same way. And similarly, their CT side of Dust 2 wasn't quite there. Perhaps look a little bit more into those team plays. There was a couple of missed pop flashes, sort of flashing your teammates in. Didn't quite happen on Dust 2. And I think those sort of moments really could have anchored a team. And then the pistols. You can't be losing to Orange.Sphynx when they've just got Deagles, P250, CZs. You have to be winning those rounds. And Celeste, they've got to look at dispatching those a lot better.
Yeah, bit of a mix of missed execution in a couple of situations, and yeah, I guess suppose just not really being as familiar with one side on one map in general. And you know, I still think they put in quite a lot of effort and quite a lot of good play for a team that had just formed. You have to really give them some props for being able to come together like that in the situation, but it is just very difficult against the likes of Orange.Sphynx, who really looked like a well-oiled machine in that second half.
Oh yeah, they clearly have been practicing for this tournament. They came out all guns blazing. The Vertigo pick didn't even throw them. It was a little bit awkward for them, but they managed to pull it through. And then
that was a fun first map to watch, man. It was chaos.
It was absolutely mental. But Then they go to Dust 2 and they really showcase what they can do on the CS-y style C maps. That sounds so stupid to say, but the maps that play like CS should play.
You mean every map but Vertigo, right?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
just for those of you who are unsure about the clarification. Oh boy, so let's take a look at some of our stats here. Alaska getting 28 kills, 14 deaths, and a couple of assists. And yeah, not a bad score for her, I think.
4 opening kills, 2 KD. That's the really ridiculous statistic. You should not be getting 2 kills per death ever at this level. That is an insane performance from her. And you can see the matchup with Tarithiel. It's just not the same. ADR of 127.6 for Alaska.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of why you look at that 2 KD and the difference in just kills in general. I mean, Tarithiel still came up with a lot of damage and a lot of shots herself, but it just wasn't on the same level.
Yeah, and you can almost see from that ADR that it's the kill conversion from the Orange.Sphynx side. And now we go on to the snipers and GFI, who just showed up so often. Didn't actually do her best work with the sniper, only getting 19 kills and a 1.19 KD. But
no, those stats don't actually tell the whole story of GFI, really. She didn't pick up that many ops either. It was only in like the second half of Dust 2 that we really see it showing up more.
Yeah, I mean, she was a stand-up player throughout that for the Orange.Sphynx side and just made it look all too easy as we go to the full stats. And you can see that last map, not GFI's strongest, but she showed up big time on Vertigo, really gave her team a little bit of an anchor to perform. And
how about 3v, though?
Oh, wow.
That
okay.
was, yeah, that's insane.
I just noticed that, a 2.08. Not as many opening kills, but again, when you're putting out those standout performance, 2 players, 25, 28 kills on 3v in Alaska, you can allow for your teammates to not necessarily have the game of their life. You can see Argent struggling a little bit to get into it, but having those players who turn up just allows that to happen.
Yeah, and I think at this point, you already see a lot of the power coming out of Orange.Sphynx, and we'll see their opponents across the board. And, well, I think Tarithiel definitely kind of leading the charge with that squad, but it's a much more even split for this team. They really are about the teamwork.
Yeah, there's no clear winner in terms of kills or any kind of real KD damage. They're all very close to each other, and I think that's perhaps what Celeste missed there. They missed a player who just turned up and fragged out. They needed a star player to show up, and it just didn't quite happen for them.
Yeah, well, we might see in following rounds, Tarithiel can keep with that form, maybe level it up a little bit. There's still plenty of Counter-Strike to play over the next few days, and they have a lot to think on going back to the drawing board before their next match.
Absolutely, and I think if they learn from these mistakes, they could really pose a threat to some of the other more established teams in this lineup, some of the other invited teams. There is potential there for the Celeste lineup. Exactly.
There's absolutely a chance for them to keep moving on through the way if they can just shake off that 0-2 start, because it really doesn't tell the full story of how that match went. It feels like it was a lot closer right up until the second half on Dust 2.
Yeah, they really lost it in that T side of D2. That was when you saw the acceleration from Orange.Sphynx on their CT side. Vertigo was a completely different story. That map could have gone either way. There was 1 or 2 anchor rounds, as we will be going to an interview with one of the players right now.
战队现在站我旁边也是他们的指挥 Ramona。那首先想要问的就是第一张图 Vertigo， 这张图他们是怎么看？然后当时是否预料到对方会选这张图 ？So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
For the starter, let's start with the map picks. Were you surprised by the Vertigo pick?
Not really, because I think that's one of their best map. And I told my team that we're probably going to hit that map yesterday. And if we would, I wanted to test them on that map. So that would be the first challenge for my team and myself. If we would go through that map, and I think our second map would be better.
也是说到第一张图 Vertigo， 他们之前研究过对手，在资格赛的时候看到对方这是他们最强的一张图，他们也决定要挑战一下对方的最强图，然后觉得如果这张图能够拿下来，那他们接下来就是来到他们自己很有自信的一张图沙尔。Alright, so for the second question, I was just talking to you about it a bit earlier. With the AUG nerf, do you guys feel like you're affected at all?
As for Dust 2, yeah, maybe a little bit because of the fire rate. It's pretty slow. But as far as I'm concerned, I think everyone's okay with it because we're mostly like M4's player. So yeah.
第二个问题也是问到，就是最新版本现在 AUG 也是被削弱了。那 AUG 削弱之后有没有影响他们队伍的一些表现？因为刚刚其实他们对手在沙尔上面是选择4把 M4A1。然后他也是说到，其实是有多多少少有一点小影响，不过整体上来讲，他们发挥都还是挺好的。Alright, third question. So now that you guys have won your first match, what's the plan for the rest of the day?
Practice, more practice, and food in practice.
Food and practice.
Food and
Will you guys be
practice.
studying like the other teams that will be playing?
Obviously, probably be watching the games, and I think for this whole day or this whole week, I think it would only be CS for us. Nothing else. CS is just CS.
And food.
And food, yeah, of course.
最后一个问题也是问他们赢得今天第一场比赛之后，他们接下来要做哪些事情？接下来就是不停的训练，然后研究比赛，然后当然还有最重要就是要吃饭。Alright, so thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
那我们把时间交给